And speaking of abogados, I want to talk about Antonio Carpio and yung comments niya about the terror bill. And I believe nag-usap na tayo dito before, and I think I'm gonna have to change my opinions on it. I was leaning, honestly, I was in the middle to begin with, pero I want to get your input on it kasi may papakita ako sa'yo na article from
Is it the rapper?
Rappler. May papakita ako.
Yeah.
So ito. Wait lang.
Rappler's biased as fuck though. You know that, right?
I'm not wanted to make a comment on that. So ito sinabi niya. Actually, ito. Critics ready to petition versus anti-terror bill. Okay, so ito ang sinabi niya. Sinabi niya something to the tune of this bill would make it worse than the martial law for, let's see, sabi niya. Sensya na guys, mabagal yung internet ko. Okay, so ito.
Di ba dyan sa US pare, may Patriot Act?
May Patriot. So, meron na tayong old anti-terrorism bill, 'di ba? And parang meron distinction yung Rappler ba nung old anti-terror bill and yung new terror bill. And nag-comment si Antonio Carpio about dun. Sabi niya, Carpio reiterated on Wednesday that Section 29 authorizing the Anti-Terror Council to order arrest and 24-day detention violates the Constitution, pointing out that even the Constitution allows only 3-day warrantless detentions under martial law. Carpio said that the anti-terror bill would be like the Philippines is permanently under a situation worse than martial law. Pero ikaw yung tao na kilala ko na nagbasa mismo nung buong PDF for at least yung draft nung anti-terror bill for 2020. Anong input mo sa sinabi niya?
I mean, I actually agree with him. Kasi the first time I read the bill, that was yung section na yon allowing for warrantless arrests. Doon din ako naging iffy about the law. Kasi meron kasing batas that doesn't allow for prolonged incarceration without turning them over to the proper authorities. Ibig sabihin nun, yung police, pwede siyang makulong pagka sobrang tagal ng oras na nag-incarcerate siya ng tao. So kunyari ako, kinuha ako ng police for no reason, tapos ikukulong nila ako, tapos they're not turning me over to the judge or to the courts. They can be liable for that. They can be jailed for that, for dereliction of duty. If pumasa yung bill na yan, and they say that you're quote-unquote suspected of terrorism, gago, pwede ka na lang ikulong any time that they want. That's gonna be the problem. That's gonna be the problem.
That's the biggest problem na I think yung mga tao na sinasabi nila eh. It's not about, wala silang problema sa protection from terrorism. Go ahead. Wala. We need that shit. Pero yung idea na pwede kang i-detain for 24 days without a warrant, di ko alam ano yung, I really don't have a reference point. I'm pretty sure you have more reference point than me, pero that sounds a bit too much, di ba?
I think I actually kind of agree. I mean, that was I don't know if other people agree with me, but yung provision na yun of the law, that's the only part that I am iffy about. But there's a but.
Right.
My opinion on it is you don't have to junk everything, because it's actually a pretty well made law if you read everything about it. See Carpio, well, what did the article say about his comments? Does he want to junk it entirely, or I haven't read the article, sorry.
Well, ang gusto niyang gawin is sumali siya for petitioning the terror bill, which is basically junking it. That's my analysis of it. Yun yung pagkakaintindi ko. Pero I'm not sure if that's what he really wants. I'm not sure if gusto niyang i-amend yung draft. Pero
Yeah. He could either petition for an amendment. He could either petition for an amendment of the draft or junk it entirely. That's the thing. Ako, on my part, I don't want to junk it entirely. I mean, I'm leaning more on amending it and refining it.
right.
Kasi when I read it, I was pretty okay with it. Ang problema ko lang talaga is yung problema din ni Carpio, yung warrantless arrest kasi puta nakakatakot naman talaga yun. For me, I mean, pwede ka na lang i-aresto ng tao. Sabihin na natin na the person who's gonna decide is the council that's set up by the law.
Right.
It's still scary. It's still scary that your liberty can be restricted by people without due process, because that's what a warrant guarantees, that there's due process, right? Pero think about this then, pare. A warrant kasi, it's determined by a judge. So ang mangyayari is pulis ako. Pulis ako, di ba?
Pare pulis ako. Bawal yan, bawal mag-record sa cinema.
Cinema, tangina,
Ay, nalaglag yung kamatis. Nalaglag yung kamatis. Ay, naku.
So, kanyari pulis ako, di ba? Because I have someone quoted, I have someone quote unquote is suspected of terrorism. Ang original law, pare, ang mangyayari dyan is pupunta ka sa judge. Tapos yung judge yung magde-determine if there is probable cause. Yun yung normal process. Ang gusto ng anti-terror bill is from the top, whoever is appointed inside the council will determine. So ang naging difference noon is yung sa new anti-terror bill, yung council yung magde-determine if they're gonna arrest you. Sa old anti-terror bill, the judge will determine.
Pero hindi ba parang it makes a system very prone to being taken advantage of. For example, may appoint ka na tao ni Duterte, tapos lalagay na lang siya dun sa head ng ATC, tapos anyone na consider ng gobyerno na, oh, this guy tweeted about ayaw niya sa kung paano nag-run yung gobyerno, or may sinabi siya na true na ayaw ng gobyerno kumalat, pwedeng i-consider na terrorist kagad yung tao na yun, tapos i-detain siya for kagad with no warrant, di ba?
That's the problem, pare. That's the problem. Pero nag-isip ako, what possible solution? Anong pwedeng solution? Kasi terrorism really is a problem here in the Philippines. If you have friends in Mindanao who own farms, yung mga ani nila, pare, sinusunog yan. Yung mga tractor nila, nilalagyan ng bomba, yung mga terrorista. That's a reality. And I think that's what the law is trying to address. Okay, right. It's hard. You have to look at the law in a lens of why it's being passed. You can't automatically assume that it's kasi yung mga ibang tao, the problem is when they read the law, they already see it through a lens na it's trying to deprive them of their rights.
Right. So yung emotions nila parang minamap out kagad nila yung tong law, what this law is about, even though they haven't really read everything about it, diba? Parang ganun yung nangyayari.
They should try to look at it impartially. They should try to ask the people who are pro anti-terror bill why they're pro. And most of my friends who are pro are actually from the Mindanao region where the fighting is intense.
Okay, yeah. So naiintindihan talaga nila yung struggle, and they think that having this bill approved will solve that problem. Yun ba yung sinasabi nila?
For some, yeah. I don't want to name names.
Pero bakit ba yung existing anti-terror bill, I believe in 2002 pa na nung si Gloria pa yung presidente, nung time pa lang na yun, controversial na kaagad siya. Bakit what's the deal? Ano yung problema dun na hindi na-address sa 2020 terror bill?
Kasi yung problem with the old one, if nabasa mo ba yung usapan natin with Enzo dun sa group chat natin? na may narinig siya sa radio na there were members of the MILF who were detained but were subsequently let go because of lack of evidence. Diba? You know that?
Pero di ba tama 'yun? Di ba 'yun yung dapat mangyari?
Pero tama 'yon under the old law, dapat na ganun yung mangyari. Pero kasi siguro ang iniisip ng gobyerno ngayon na it's so fucking obvious already na that guy is the one who did it, you know? And they're being let go, and because of siguro ang mentality ng gobyerno is the law is stopping them from properly fighting the commies, yung mga ibang tao na andun sa bundok sa Mindanao.
Right.
Kasi how long has the war been going on? I mean, it's not really that publicized, but we've always been at war with the New People's Army ever since, even before the Marcoses.
Shout out sa mga taga-UP dyan.
Oh,
jokes lang po, wag mo offend. Cancelled na ako. First episode pa lang, cancelled na ako. Grabe naman kayo.
Gano'ng katagal na silang andun, pare? Gano'ng katagal na bang may NPA? Tsaka gano'ng katagal na silang nakikipaglaban sa NPA? Ang tagal na, pare. Yung isang tito ko, general siya. Sa Davao. 30 years old pa lang siya, may picture na siyang nakikipagbarilan with yung mga NPA. Pare, 70 years old na siya ngayon, di pa rin tapos yung laban nila.
Saan ba nagsimula? May idea ka ba saan nagsimula yun? O wala, parang di ka namabad dun?
Kung ba't nagsimula yung NPA?
Parang saan ba nagsimula lahat ng civil war natin dyan?
May nagpasimuno niyan eh. He's a commie leader. Anong pangalan nun? Let me look at it. Siya yung nagsimula. I think he's still alive now.
Si Ambatuan?
Pero he learned from Karl Marx, yung mga others that are politically leaning towards communism. And syempre, since nakita niya yung success sa China, gusto niya na i-implement din dito. Yun, pangalan na yun, si Jose Maria Sison. I think we see him on the news a lot. Si Sison.
Siya yung siya ba yung head ng NPA or how does that work?
Siya yung head ng Communist Party of the Philippines. And he helped founded the NPA.
Right.
Professor to ng UP.
Seryoso?
Yeah, ito. Personal life arrest works. Yeah, pare, dami niya sinulat, oh.
Kaya pala inasa rin yung mga taga-UP na NPA daw eh.
Gago, nakulong pa siya and everything. Is he still alive now? Yeah, he's still alive.
Mahal kayo mga taga-UP, huwag kayong ma-offend.
81 na siya. Teka, let me fact check if he did. Let me fact check if he did teach. Well, he graduated from the University of the Philippines. Tapos, and he founded the Central Committee of the Communist Party, blah, 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 blah. Wala pare, hindi pala siya nagturo. Sorry, hindi siya nagturo sa...
Joke lang po yan. Diba?
Don't quote.
Wag na, i-ano lang natin. Wag di natin i-quote si Carl doon. Grabe, simula kaagad ng natin, ng podcast natin, ang deep kaagad ng pinag-usapan natin, pare. Pwede ba tayo mag-chill muna? May pinapre pa naman ako mga nakakatuwang videos para sa'yo. Tapos, ito kaagad yung mga pinag-usapan natin. Pare, gusto ko sana pag-usapan natin yung Lasal, yung mga study tips and tricks mo. Kasi mataas yung grades mo, pero di tayo nakabot dun, pare. Diretso na agad tayo ng kay Ampatuan tsaka kay Season eh.
Hindi ko alam kung paano tayo napunta dun eh.
Okay, ito may papakita ko sa'yo.